Hi there. I updated my data form and I just wanted to give you a brief overview of all of the changes that I've made. There's not that many, but I did want to go over them and also just a review of how to use it. So quickly here, we'll go through one time and do this together, but first I just want to look at it quickly and show you. So as you can see, you have your dates here, and these check boxes are how you are going to keep your data. So, for example, on January 31st, this student was able to label action. Here's where you write the goal and where you write the student's name. Label actions in 2 out of 10 trials. Then you go on to use the drop-down menus to select participation, what type of activity. This is new, this activity type. You have the option, it's optional, to type in what activity it was. So example, if it was a literacy activity, you could label the book. If it was a play activity, you could label the toy or the activity. Then you select prompts needed, progress, and what your plan is. Now, in this case right here, we had decided during the 31st, that on the next session, we're going to add visual supports. Okay, and then if you scroll over here, another new thing that we have is the comments section, and that does not go into the note. It is just for your own information. And if you write something in there, maybe you're going to write that maybe the child exhibited a behavior or they weren't feeling well or something like that, you can feel free to write that in the comments section just for your own reference. Now, when you scroll over here, you're going to see the last note populated up here. So in this case, it says, Joey participated nicely during today's activity, Potato Head. Joey was able to label actions in 2 out of 10 opportunities. Joey benefited from verbal cues. Joey made little progress during today's session. Visual supports will be added for the next session. Then if you look down at the graph, you can see automatically it populates as 80% is going to be this red line. So that's like considered the mastery. You can easily change that by coming over here and just changing this number to 70% or 90% or whatever you want. So in this case, the mastery is 80%. And as you can see, over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions, we're really not seeing a lot of progress at all. And so clearly we want to make a change. And this last column here, this program change, is one of the best new features of this data form. And so I'm going to show you how we are going to go about putting that into our data and our graph. So we're going to go over here. We're going to start our next session. So let's say that was today, the 1st, February 1st. And again, your checkboxes are going to pop up. Now, remember, we had said that we are going to add a visual support. So in this case, let's pretend that we did add some sort of visual support for the student, and the student is doing better. So the data is going up. So still out of 10 trials, but now we're going from mostly getting 1 and 2 correct. Now the student has gotten 5 correct. So that's definitely an improvement. We're going to go down through our drop-down menus and we're going to select, okay, let's just say we did, let's see, a literacy activity, and let's say we did, oh, I don't know, Good Night Moon. All right, and then here we're going to say that we gave maybe a model, and we're going to say that progress was made because he's doing better. And we like how this is going, so we're going to continue with the current plan. Now, I don't have anything to add in the comments section, but I do want to make sure that I note that I did change something in my program with this child. So what I did was, we're going to say we added visual supports. Okay? Now, when you put something in that column of that program change on that specific date, what happens is you're going to see a bar come up. And that will let us know that we can go back to this date and see what kind of change we made by going right here to this column. And what that tells us is when we're looking at this data and we see like, oh, wow, look, he really went up on this date. That's awesome. We can say, well, we know why. It's because we added these visual supports and they were really helpful to this child. So I think that that's really helpful. And then you'll continue on. And then eventually what you may do is you may discontinue using these visual supports and also add that in the program change, because as you discontinue those supports, your data may go down a little bit, but hopefully, head back up. But it's basically letting you know that you did something new, and that's why either the data is going up or the data is going down. So this is like a really nice feature, I find. And the last feature that there is if by chance you wanted to change something within the goal, let's say you have a set of 10 actions and you're just deciding that is just way too much, like we need to decrease that. You can actually put in the date of today and you can change it to like 3 actions. And instead, your note will now populate where it says, Joey was able to label 3 actions in 5 out of 10 opportunities. Or let's say you were working on yes and no questions and it was too much, so you decided to only work on yes questions. You could go to this section right here, put your date today and say yes questions only, and that will populate itself into the note. So I hope that this is helpful. The only other thing, there's 2 other things to add. So quickly, if you go to this tab at the bottom, directions, it gives you most of the features that you may need, like, putting the name at the top of the page and where to put the goal and how to change this mastery level and all of that stuff. And also there is an original tab. I recommend keeping that. And what you do is by right clicking this little arrow here, you will duplicate the original tab and make a new one, which is exactly what I did with this actions tab. That way your original is always there. So if you need to add a new one, it's just really simple. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful.